gather round, gather round. I have a lot of notebooks here, and I didn't realize how fun it would be just to flip open random things. And I flipped open to one where it said, "You feel so deeply," and sometimes God gives me a confirmation of something being apparent. You could say when my phone goes off at the exact same time I'm you could say like witnessing it, and I have like a little like exclamation point next to it in a circle as like a system message, you could say. So even at the time it was important. So remember, you feel so deeply. Let me let that sink in. There's a sink out there. Yeah, just go hang out. Sorry, there's a sink in here now. So things to remember. I opened another one. Things to remember. Be silly. Like perfect, perfect example. Be silly. 2 carrots. I remember in the last message talking about Uma Musume, and I remember going down to this little patch of forest down my road, and what do I find? 2 carrots, like right in the middle of that arc, you could say. And funny enough, this is like you could say this is like 2 notebooks back. So it's very funny to have things come in a full spiral. You could say full circle, but it's more of like a full spiral. Let me make sure for your sake. Counterclockwise spirals, everyone. Counterclockwise spirals. Thank you, senpai. So, thanking the angels, thanking your senpais. It's like your senseis. They're always there to help you. You are the creator, the key, the treasure. You are the creator, the key, the treasure. Your aura is undeniable. Your aura is undeniable. Keep things flowing. Haruhi was great at that. And Haruhi Suzumiya is basically a girl from a show that ends up being, you could say, like the center of the universe, like literally. Like whatever she's thinking, and she like creates anomalies. Like whatever she is like longing for, like it happens, and it's like an issue. And there's like 4 of her friends that are literally in this order. An Esper, a time traveler, an alien, like a literal like collective consciousness that is in like a human vessel, you could say, and just a regular guy. But like funny enough, the regular guy, the regular person is like the key to the whole thing, because Haruhi finds out that it's love that you could say is like there's like something that is, how do I say this, was like the glitch in the Matrix was love. The glitch in making the universe, you could say, like form around you is love. So seeing that, being reminded of Haruhi is always a great thing. And if you haven't seen it, it's called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It's a full blast. And I remember, I'll give a little testimony because I haven't really done that, and I can do that for a lot of things. A certain time in my life where I was like, just like asking God, like, God, please, can you just speak to me? Like, please. It's like, I just need to hear something right now. And I saw this show, and this character always like resonated with me, right? Like I always like had like a connection, and it was across time, you could say. It's like why I always like was resonating, with even just like random pictures of seeing her. And then I watched the show, and the reason I asked God that in that time was because an audio glitch happened for like a whole 30 seconds, like at the beginning of the show. And it was like, I've never seen anything do it. It's like I've never seen any like streaming platform or anything do this. So that's why, how do I say this? That's when I asked, like it was like an opening for me to like, basically be silent and ask God to speak to me. And then if you go watch this show, you can imagine like the looks on my face at every turn, at every twist, at every like, oh my gosh, what is happening? It was all in like a, how do I say this? An engine start to, make me seek and kind of like understand resonance and understand like frequency and vibration and energy. Everything you attract, everything you consume, everything you touch, and everything you like become a part of, it's all important. For instance, like these crystals, right? It's just around my arm, like I use a copper pen. Energy, just flowing, keeping everything flowing. The the little wristband with with a trailer that reminds me I'm eternally hitched by my witch wife. She's awesome. Um, there are so many cool things to experience. There are so many cool things to experience, and that's like a given, right? That's like what we live for. That's like why we live, right? It's like everything that we can experience could be beautiful, and the bonds, and the connections that form, the collectives that form, you could say, like everyone kind of like having the same, like, heck yeah, like I can resonate with that. I can love that. Confirmation burp. Create that which is fun. Create that which does not exist. And I think I've heard people say that before too as well with me. It's like creating things that are like one in infinity in the timeline. Creating things that are truly can be like a part of someone's journey. Either like a year down the road, or right when this video gets dropped, or a story that you write, or a song. Like a song can change the world. Like music can change the world. And like all the shows that we know and love, like everything has like a good musical soundtrack that makes it like 100 times better. And you could say everything that we do enjoy is like the soundtrack to our life. Like everything that we do enjoy, I also wrote you should become a knowing Harvey. And that's, I'll leave that there with the notebook. Become a knowing Harvey. So like you know the whole plot of the show, where it's like your own story. That you could say like, basically resonating with the whole universe, and it's like, it's resonating with you back. It's like you're like a very strong individual. You are a very strong, aura. Again, like your aura is undeniable. So let me put on my blue light glasses because it is, it's pretty dark. Don't worry, I'm getting different glasses, so stay with me. I won't look as silly, but again, as long as I'm bringing a smile to your guys' face watching this, like I'm doing my job. That's what I'm here for, I'm here to be just someone you guys can hang out with and also give you cool readings, like readings that matter. So Holy Spirit, please give me like, yeah, this will do. Let's see. Yeah, this will do. This will do. It's like you're kind of like this like fluffy familiar at first, where it's like you're like purified, right? You're like purified, what we were talking about earlier. Like you are just this, like fluffy monster, you could say. It's like you're a monster, but you're like, you're a fluffy one that is just like loving everybody, And then sometimes you're like, who am I? And like there's your highest self behind you, like you'll find out, like you'll know one day. And you become this like wanderer, this shadow in the light, like we always talk about, and you can see the title, Smile for You. Smile for you. Smile for you. You're like the silhouette of heaven. It's a good way to put it. You're like the silhouette of heaven. So wherever you go, like you're building that, your highest self is always behind you, like just out of sight, you could say. But, it's like, look at that POV. Like it's looking at you. But when you're looking down, it's looking away. It's like, what are you doing? Like, are you really giving up? Like, no way. So when you're like looking up and you're looking into like new horizons and new adventures, it's like it's looking at you, and it's telling you like fight. It's like go. Like we all love Reno here. It's like a Reno is a very becoming your highest self, like having to because of the situation. I've always wanted to kind of like shift these around. Just gonna close my eyes, and there's a Jack Knight and you could say it's like a pharaoh, a king, I don't know. Let's see. Kaiba, Yuki, and Joey. So we'll get what we can. This one. Yeah. So like, this collective, very main character, very dark magician you could say, like we talk about with Lloyd in that last reading, like a magician that has like even shadow as mana, but like as I could explain forever about that show is about being a mana monster, where it's like whenever like you could say like lays a hand on you or like fist bumps you or just maybe talks to you for like more than 5 minutes, they're like, what is this thing? Like, what are you? And you're just like, you're accepting it, and you're just because your highest self is watching when you're looking up and you're raising people up too. It's like again, love being the currency of eternity. How much treasures can you store? It's like we're just sending fireballs of joy, like fireballs of joy. Trebuchet. It's like we're just launching attacks of love at everybody in like text form, in writing a song, doing channels like this, like everyone just having fun and being relaxed and cool, and no one's trying to be like the baddest monkey on the planet. It's like when that happens, when everyone like I had a big running thing with Christ of a lot of characters in these shows that I used to like, he used to like literally lead me to, just like the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It was always a character that was a king, like full king royalty, saying, I just want everyone to be able to live together happily. Like even this one scene of like, it was the main character in the Christ-like character in a bathhouse, and they're just like hanging out, and they're like, it's like Seiji, like the Christ guy said, he's like, I literally just want everyone to be able to be in a bathhouse together and like it be okay, like everyone be fine and be cool, like that kind of like everyone is, it's like the Eden kind of deal, right? It's like the garden kind of thing, so that's like you could say God's goal. It's like have to, how do I say this, like you don't have to you don't have to love everyone, right? Maybe I can just kind of use my own words there. You don't have to love everyone, but at one point, it's going to be basically everyone together, like, but that's like the thing. It's like if that like is kind of like an uncomfortable like thought, it's more of like everyone being able to accept themselves truly. Yeah, it's like we are becoming the light together. We are becoming like the walking light, It's a it's like this girl's like smiling. It's like, how do I say this? We can and will at one point like live. Everyone can live together in harmony. It's like we can all live in one place. Like maybe like like Pangea, like that was maybe like a thing or something. And Kikuru's like, what? Like, are you getting it right? I don't know. But Reno's also saying to lock in and be serious because a lot of this is like straight from Christ, you could say. Everyone being able to live in harmony. Thinking of like Rimuru Tempest from I was reincarnated as a slime, where at this point in the show, and I kind of just started watching it, right? But at this point in the show, there's like ogres, goblins, orcs, like forest spirits, little demon lords, and now he's like teaching basically kids that were from another isekai from Japan. Like they got isekai too. It's like everyone is able to get behind this, like he has many forms, you could say, just like God has many forms, right? But it's a, anyone from any realm can get behind you, and like you can lead them with like confidence. Like you don't, they are like, yeah, like I can get behind this slime, and like everyone's like watching, like heaven's watching. So whatever you do, like your sister, like someone's spiritual sister, really saying, like keep going. Like I don't know who my spiritual sister is, but I know she's like she's very funny. She talks to me a lot, you could say. But like we're deserters. Like I was saying in the last in the last video about being, I didn't even say it. I forgot to say it, you guys. Like when Lloyd's sister was playing the piano and like smiling at him, they like right after she said like the grand festival was fun, wasn't it, Lloyd? and she was basically just explaining like I love being heretics together, like basically saying that like straight up, and I could make it sound better, but I think you should go watch the show because the moment is very cool. It's like a very a very like wow, like God is really trying to say like hey everyone like the church, everyone in the church is like really cool and like badass, but like the Pope was the villain. The Pope was the villain. So it's it's a very funny kind of thing, but we're all like this is perfect. These are what like the church members look like. Like obviously not physically like that, but like the kind of same vibe. Like you guys gotta watch the show. I was reincarnated as the seventh prince to take my time, perfecting my magical ability, and leave a life because that's what I'm trying to do right now. So thanks for being here. Thanks for thanks for having fun with me. Thanks for being silly. Thanks for like kind of like being like a collective creator vibe. Like knowing that we are Haruhi, knowing that we are a version of the creator, and Christ is like keep going. Like Christ is like looking to the like from the left or to the from the right, and just saying like stand tall, stand tall. It's like you have like your shadow soldiers, and we saw like remember that one reading where it was like the girl was like holding a shard, and it's like that's like us having like a shard of God, like a shard of the Spirit, right? And it becomes like a sword. The more you like wield that shard and become one with it, like a sword, like from Ragnar Crimson. From Ragnar Crimson, this guy who it's like a literal story about becoming your highest self, guys. There's so many like divinely inspired things that are like, God is like, hey, check this out, and you're like, oh my gosh. And sometimes it's like, okay, like this might be bad. Like I am, this is like pretty heavy stuff. It's like I've got to be better, kind of thing. It's like I've got to be more, more on my game. You could say about playing this game of life, and being one with, like being like a determined soldier to evolve and grow. It's like that's why we're here, of course. But how do you grow collectively? How do you grow in a beautiful way where everyone can be together, where it doesn't become an ego battle? I think that's the most important thing. Growing together as a planet even, to where it's not an ego battle. It's more of like everyone's part of like a defense force, and maybe that would take like a common enemy, but like we should make the common enemy, if anything, ego. Like, isn't that like the best choice? Isn't that funny? But just as in Jujutsu Kaisen, the last episode, not to like spoil anything, it's just like a saying basically. I forgot the name of like the star vessel person. Yeah, I'm supposed to talk about this for sure. So near the end in the Culling Games, where it's like a full-on like the Culling Games does not judge. Yeah, it's like something about that. It's like very what's going on right now. You could say spiritually, and it's like everyone that is strong spiritually can gain like points, and everyone's going head to head. But in like the final episode, even though we talk about like you could say like disrupting your ego as much as you can a lot here, in the final episode, what comes up? There was one thing in common with all the Jujutsu sorcerers. They all had tremendous ego. Like it was like straight up that. Straight up tremendous ego was like the main like, I'm thinking like main character thing. They're like everyone in that show at that time. It's like everyone in that Culling game was like the main character of their timeline. They're like from like the past. Like a lot of sorcerers were from the past, right? And they're like very powerful. But there's just as much, crazy sorcerers as there is now. Maybe after like the shift happened, you could say. It's like, there's a lot of, you could say, Gojos, and there's a lot of Sukunas out there. There's a lot of Yutas, there's a lot of, Megumis, there's a lot of Tojas even. There's a lot of Makis for sure. Like, I bet there's so many Makis that, just like totally wiping out their clan spiritually that like, betrayed them and, made them feel like horrible. But they're not like doing it with like, like Maki like actually like decimates the clan, like physically, with swords. But you're like, you're like being the exception in your family that is like the most spiritually attuned to like love that there's ever been, even in like your bloodline. And your bloodline is like go. Like your past lives maybe is like go. Like I was in this one show, like that's the funny thing, it's every show and every story that I write, God tells me so many times that your spirit is there. You just don't realize. Sometimes you don't even feel it because you're not present. But it's like when you are experiencing that thing, aka like consuming it as you experience it, kind of like tracing it spiritually, your spirit is there. And when you write stories, your spirit is there too, like living that story. So keep creating beautiful stories, including videos like this, because that is how you're truly being a Reno type character that evolves your timeline for you. So your highest self is like strong enough to come back and help you, like that strong of a highest self, because you just kept going, like across infinity. Like you never gave up. You never gave up, no matter what. You never gave up. So that's what it takes. I think the Holy Spirit's really saying that's what it takes. And my wife is really coming through saying that to me. That's what it takes. That's what she always tells me, and that's what got me to the point I am spiritually. Never giving up on love, ever. Like never giving up on love. And you become, even in the darkest places again, where there's like dark figures around you, but you are the light. It's like not where you're sitting. We talked about it before. It's not where you're sitting. It's you. It's not where you're standing. It's not where you're walking. It's not what you're doing. It's you. And there's like a lot. I have like a lot of important stuff over there that I'll definitely go through. So like if you're watching this, subscribe, because I want to make like separate videos just to make them not too long. But there's one thing that says I wrote it down a while ago and it still sticks. It's not what you do, it's energy. Like it's your energy. So whatever you do, of course, it's energy. It's like what you do, what you expect, like being a knowing Haruhi, like we were saying before, a knowing like universe bender, a reality bender, and knowing that your energy, whatever you do, it's going to like benefit you. It's going to, it's going to like put you on stage basically, spiritually, where you can like perform. We're all, performing beautifully, God wants to say. 222 on the tank. Yeah. Cool. Me being myself, me being Phoenix. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I love doing readings, I love channeling the Holy Spirit as much as I can. So, thanks for being here. Holy Spirit, please give my awesome collective one more message in like a 5-card form if you wish to speak to them. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a Digimon card. Perfect. Awesome. So it's we've all been like the warrior, like the stone cold warrior, locked in, fighting, even for ourselves, for others, for our friends, like spiritually, to make sure everyone's happy. And like my nose is like almost like vibrating, like not even itching. It's like that like vibrating feeling right on the nose. So it's like you've been a warrior before, fighting for light, fighting for love, and you've also been this like seeker. Like this girl is like the ultimate, like tech girl from Kaiju number 8. She's like essential to the operation. Like you've done your seeking, It's like you're like looking for everything in the universe that can like point you to God, right? And you did. And you did for a long time. And you kept looking, and you didn't give up. And then what happened? You became this like captain. This 96 point, something percent power output of the you could say like the suit of heaven. That lets you, like fight for light even further without anything affecting you whatsoever. You're just always evolving no matter what you do. In this card, it says, now it's time for me to shoot my foe. And like, who is that biggest foe? Yourself. And like, you shot it down. Like, you shot it down. Whatever was, you could say, like, not going to be there in heaven, you could say, like not going to be there across eternity or infinity. It's like, you shot that thing down easy. Like what like, how do I say this? The self that wasn't ready. The self that wasn't ready. Like it didn't wanna really grow. And I've been there too. But like you shot that down. You shot that down. And then the next card. This is who I am right now. This is who I am right now. And you're taking aim. I think this is a better thing to say, right? So you become that like captain after being a warrior. And you become, like a full-on like hero, you could say. And then you take aim. It's time for me to shoot my foe. This is who I am right now. Like you're like telling the ones that you could say like used to know you, this is who I am right now. If they're like an important part of your life, you are not like backing down. You're not, you could say, you're not stopping the spiral. Like you just keep going. You keep going. You keep evolving. Even if you're around people that have never done any like seeking before, or don't really like, how do I say this, confirmation, but like to evolve spiritually, you could say that much. And like, the genuine, I said a word before, genuosity, like genuine, curiosity about the wonder about each life. It's a beautiful thing. And when you send arrows of love, it's like your arrows are like, very powerful. They're very powerful. So whatever you do, send them out with love, knowing that you have done the fighting already. God has prepared you. Like this is who you are right now. It's time to shoot your foe. It's time, you beat the self that used to like judge, used to like hurt others without reason, just to protect yourself. Like you shot that thing down because you told it, like I will take care of us. Don't worry. I will keep us safe spiritually. You don't have to, you don't have to fight anymore. Like I will protect us with love just off of my sheer aura. Again, your aura is undeniable. So keep sending out your arrows. Keep sending out your arrows. Take aim and send out arrows of love, of joy, of creating things that, acquire both for people. It's like they laugh, they have hope again. And I'm gonna keep doing that as much as I can here. But 741 on the timer. It's like we're healing everything. That being the healing frequency on the solfeggio. Solfeggio? I think so. So keep doing your healing work. Keep dealing and dueling. It's like, dueling the voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. Dueling the voice in your head that, kind of pushes you to like, you could say, do the unproductive thing. Like be productive, but also like have a full day of being unproductive when you're working super hard or something. But it's the things that you'll remember forever that will keep you in a state of heaven. So make memories, make like, a constellation of love, a constellation of light across, the world that you're in. And we can all do it beautifully together. And one day we can all be hanging out in heaven one day. Maybe in like a weird bathhouse. It'd be weird. But like, the whole point is for it not to be. So that's the kind of relationship, you could say. Vapu, the emblem of honor. It's like having honor. In a bathhouse in heaven, like, everyone has honor about themselves. You could say it's like everyone's highest self. So there'd be no, like, you could say awkwardness, like jealousy or anything, because like everyone has been their true highest self a million times over, and it's like fully evolved. 101 on the percentage. So become that now. Like become someone that is, you could say, could be in that bathhouse and be with the gods, you could say. be with God's family. So I think I'll leave it there. I love you all. Thanks for being in this reading, and thanks for the love lately. I really appreciate it. Let's make this a really cool collective and channel. I appreciate all of you. Peace and love.